One of my favorite starter pairs out of all the games has to be the ones from the Hoenn region. Treecko, Mudkip, and Torchic all have their uses in battle, but which one is statistically the best choice to go with to beat the games?
I don't know.
I know that. I was gonna tell you over the course of this. Wait a minute, who are you?
I have no idea.
Well, do you know anything?
The only thing I know is the best starter from Hoenn. Oddly specific detail, I know.
But you just told... Well, since you're here, do you want to help me with this video, Mr...
ZeldaWars98, but you can call me Zelda. Wars98.
Okay, well, as you guys know, there is no right or wrong starter to pick, but there definitely is a best Pokemon to choose that would benefit you the most. Today we are going to be exploring the Hoenn region. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And with that being said, let's get started.
Actually, before we start talking about which starter is the best, we have to clear up how we are going to be judging the starters, because it is going to be a little different than the other videos in the series.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that. Since Pokemon Emerald is fairly different from its predecessor games, we have decided to give a different result for that specific game. With the gym leaders having a few different Pokemon on their team, and the champion being completely different, Emerald changes almost everything when it comes to our result. So with all that out of the way, let's get started.
Our journey starts in Professor Birch's briefcase, where we have to make the most important decision in our life. Treecko, Mudkip, or Torchic?
Well, Mudkip is the cutest out of the three starters, so it has to be the best, right? I mean, it even has its own meme.
Even though it was a very close call, Mudkip is not the best.
What? How?
Easy. Mudkip only helps with Roxanne, Watson, Flannery, and Tate and Liza. Other than that, he pretty much goes even with the rest of the gym leaders, with the exception of Wallace, who would give him some trouble.
Well, that's true. Plus, most of the Elite Four gives him a few problems too. Sydney has a few grass Pokemon, Glacia has a few water Pokemon, and Drake... well, he has dragons. Dragons are OP.
There you go. And this is even worse than Pokemon Emerald, where Wallace is the champion this time and completely walls Swampert.
Well, if Mudkip isn't the best, then Treecko has to be the best then. I mean, he does have the type advantage on Wallace, plus he destroys Mudkip in a one-on-one battle.
Well, no. Treecko actually performs worse than Mudkip, even if it is by a little bit. Treecko does well against Roxanne, Tate and Liza, Wallace, and Watson because of the resistance. The other gems aren't much of a problem except for Flannery and Winona. And as for the Elite Four members, he struggles against Glacia and her Ice types, Drake and his OP Dragon types, and unfortunately the biggest problem, Steven the champion with his Steel types.
So that leaves us with Torchic. Wait, Torchic is the best starter Pokemon? This can't be. How can this thing that looks like a penis be the best starter Pokemon in Hoenn? It just doesn't make any sense. Well, now that I think about it, it kinda does. Yes, Torchic does have a rough start to the game with Roxanne, but if you do evolve it into a Combuskin, you do get access to Double Kick, which does super effective damage. Besides that, it goes even with Brawley and Watson, resists Flannery, and does really well against Norman. The problem starts with the last three gym leaders.
Winona, Wallace, and Tate and Liza all do extremely well against Blaziken. But by the time you encounter those gyms, your team should be well diverse at that point to handle Blaziken's weaknesses. Although Blaziken has the most weaknesses, we felt that it makes up for that by having the most strengths, especially when it comes to the Elite Four. He destroys Sydney, Glacia, and most importantly, Steven.
So there you have it, the definitive best starter in Hoenn is Torchic, right?
Yes, in Ruby and Sapphire. In Emerald, it's a whole nother story. There is one big difference that changes everything: the champion. In Pokemon Emerald, Steven is no longer the league champion. Instead, it's Wallace. By Wallace becoming the champion and Hoenn remaining a water user, this gives Sceptile the upper hand.
Well, what are you trying to say?
I'm saying that depending on the version you play, the best starter is different. If you're playing Ruby and Sapphire, then the best choice would be Torchic, but if you're playing Emerald, then the best starter is Trico.
Even though these Pokemon are statistically the best, again there is no right or wrong choice. These Pokemon are so evenly matched that it's no wonder why so many people have a tough time choosing their starter. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and let me know in the comments section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and become an Eryizo today. I would also like to thank my good friend ZeldaWars98 for joining me today.
It was fun being here, Eryizo. Why don't we go on down to my channel and talk about which version of the Gen 3 games are better? Ruby and Sapphire, or ORAS?
I think we all know what the answer is to that one, but if you guys want to come down with us, be sure to click the annotation here. If you want to see my previous best starter videos, click the other annotation here. And with that being said, I will see you guys on Zelda's channel.